Hey guys, so with Terrifier 2 on the way, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow night. I decided I gotta talk about the first Terrifier. And it's directed, written, among other things, by Damien Leone, and it came out in 2016, and it started to really blow up when it came on Netflix 2 years later. And yeah, it has a simple plot like how like many horror movies do, and it's about two friends on Halloween night, and then wrong place, wrong time with a sadistic psychopath who's dressed like a clown, Art, and yeah, and they're in a pretty fucked up situation. Some may say that one of the friends, I got them in that predicament, but I feel like either way they were screwed. Either way, yeah, like one of the girls did not help matters at all. But yeah, either way, it was basically a bad, like a basically a bad situation for him to get caught up in. And yeah, I didn't see this movie until like maybe like about last year, and around the time where we knew that Terrifier 2 is definitely happening. They just didn't have a release date for it just yet, and that's when I jumped on the wagon. And during that first watch, um, I was I was more on the positive end. I'm like, it's nothing special, but hey, I liked it. I don't at that time I didn't really love it, and then I, and then I watched again, and that definitely changed for the best. Now I love this movie. Now I fucking love it. Now I'm just like, man, how did I not pick up on this before? Like, where it's a freaking slasher movie, for crying out loud. There's torture porn elements, yeah, but man, this is more up my alley. And art, for me personally, art kind of fits in that sandbox of horror icons, like slasher icons. And yeah, and then there is this movie is an ultimate love letter to that part of horror. Like you can tell Damien Leone loves, like the same kind of movies that I love. It's set on Halloween night, and there's a few nods, there's a few winks to Halloween, like one and that is set on Halloween. And I guess I guess the second one would be that Art is a silent killer, but he does express himself where he moves around and stuff. But he doesn't talk or whatever. There's that where he's a silent killer, but he has a bit of a charm to him. And the third one is when he's looking for one of like when he like one of when they're hiding from Art, and then he's looking around and everything. You hear a little bit of that Halloween tune, like where it's that tune where Michael is stalking Lori or whatever, and stuff like that. You hear a bit of that into the soundtrack when he's looking around for the girls or whatever. And then okay, and then there's the last one that I'm surprised nobody has mentioned yet. And I don't know if this is intentional or what, maybe it is, but there's a character named Mike, and he's dressed in black overalls. I'm like, wait, he's in black overalls and his name is Mike. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But that I'm gonna say that's another nod to Halloween. And then with the opening, I felt very strong Nightmare on Elm Street vibes with the first movie, like when Freddy is making his glove, and then we see Art getting ready to go on his killing spree, putting on his makeup, getting his weapons together and stuff. I felt strong vibes from that opening there. And you can tell that Damien Leone loves like this type of horror. I think he loves all type of horrors, but you can tell that he really does love slashers. And David Howard Thornton as Art. Man, he's awesome. He is awesome, and it's just like he's good at definitely making you laugh and then making you feel uncomfortable at the same time. Like that's just. I found myself laughing in between moments when he's chasing somebody and whatever, and then something goes wrong, and his reactions are priceless. And also, like, this movie is not for anyone with a weak stomach. No, not at all. If you're not that into horror movies, you probably shouldn't watch it. But if you really do love horror and you don't want any restraints whatsoever, you just want crazy, a really ballsy horror movie, then this, I recommend you check this out. And there's one scene in particular where it's like, yeah, definitely, yeah, they go the extra mile into what you would expect in horror movies, and you're like, wow, not everybody's going to be able to, like, to bear what this movie is going to present to you. And whew, man, it is very ballsy. Like, to keep it vague is very ballsy. But yeah, I really do love this movie, and from what I'm hearing about Terrifier 2, this is awfully very tame in comparison. That's what I'm hearing, and whew, man, I can't wait to tell you what I think of that. Like, if, because I can handle like extremeness in horror to a degree. Like, if it gets to Hellraiser or Human Centipede level, I'm just like, I'm glad I'm not eating through that. Other than that, I can basically handle anything in horror, almost just about almost anything. But yeah, and then this movie is really good. And then one curveball I picked up on, like on first viewing, I picked up on now, like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then when I watched it again, I'm like, huh, I didn't pick up on this. Something that they can throw into Terrifier 2. This will be very interesting. And this movie really did help bring, like, slashers back into horror, like where it's becoming, like a trend again, like where it kind of revived the slasher era. Like, this did it, like this movie helped did, like, accomplish that before the Halloween trilogy did that. Like with the new Halloween trilogy, this movie kind of did it first, and I can't thank Damien. Damn it, man, getting tongue tied here. Damien Leone, I can't thank you enough for help doing that. I mean, like, thank you. I love, this is the type of horror that I love. Can't thank you enough for doing that. I mean, like, among everybody else, I mean, like, that did other movies after, like Terrifier. Man, I'm glad that we are here back to where horror, I feel like it should be, and I hope it doesn't die off anytime soon. I hope it stays alive for a long time. So yeah, I have to give Terrifier 9, solid 9 out of 10. Can't wait to see part 2 tomorrow night, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you guys on that movie. So keep on the lookout for that. So until then, feel free to tell me your thoughts on Terrifier. And if you have not seen it, I mean, and you decide that you want to go see part 2, what are you waiting for? Get on Screenbox, rent it, whatever. Go watch the first movie before you go see Terrifier 2. What is wrong with you? Like, come on, do it. And then check out All Hallows Eve too. I mean, yeah, check that out. That's a pretty good movie too. And yeah, so keep on the lookout for Terrifier 2, my review on it. So until then, peace out, guys.